Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and it's time for my monthly Shelf Slam 2017 book haul. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm doing this Shelf Slam that me and Janet from Swirly Girly Reads devised, where we are reading books off our shelf basically. We're not buying books, but we are pulling a challenge out of our jar each month, working towards a TBR for that. If we read 12 books in a month, we buy each other a book off of our wish list, and the wonderful Brittany from Under the Radar Books is also joining us for this now. She was inspired and has been joining us. So every month, both Brittany and Janet receive a book from me, as long as they hit their target, and I receive a book from each of those. And we have a little Google hangout, and it's just really good fun. And it's really motivating to have other people doing it along with you. So I'm not buying any books apart from that. However, I have realised how much I accumulate in terms of review copies. However, many of these are unsolicited and I will enjoy them. And I am getting rid of more books than are coming into my house. So that is the main thing. Anyway, you're here for the books. So let's talk about the books. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the two books, the ones that the girls got me. Firstly, the lovely Brittany got me Madness by Roald Dahl. She knows I'm on a quest for a new short story collection. I'd put all of Roald Dahl's short story collections onto my wish list. I've really been intrigued. I've seen people reading these, especially Shout Amy has talked about them on her channel, and about how much she enjoyed. It might have been this one actually. There was one that she really enjoyed, and I just thought, right, I'm going to give these a go. I loved Roald Dahl as a child. I haven't read any of his adult work, but at this point I'm open to anything, because I've only ever had one 5-star short story collection, which was Sweet Home by Cara Spray, which I adore, and I need some more in my life, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this one. So there's lots of very different things in this. I'm thinking, I'm guessing from Roald Dahl's previous works and the way that he writes that it's going to be quite dark. I think there's a story about a man who's jealous of the family cat and a landlady who doesn't want any of her tenants to leave. So yeah, I'm excited to try this one. Fingers crossed it's a good one for me. And then the lovely Janet from Swirly Girly Reads got me We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. This one just sounds really strange and wonderful, and I've heard nothing but good things. It's about a boy. It's of a contemporary setting. It's about a boy who seems to be in a bit of a bad place, really. His grandmother's slowly dying of Alzheimer's. His boyfriend committed suicide, I believe, the year before. And since he was a young age, he's been abducted by aliens. You know, what more could you ask for, really? It just sounds intriguing. And I think it's going to be a really moving and heartfelt story. So I'm interested to see where this one takes me. And as a bit of a bonus, both of these fit into the challenge for this month, which is to read books published in 2016. And as both of these were set in 2016, I shall be reading them. Right, now on to the books that I received from publishers. The first one is The Magician's Lie by Greer McAllister. This has a truly beautiful cover. I just think it's very pretty. So this sounds really intriguing. It's about the most famous female illusionist, and she is really renowned for being on stage, and you know that trick where they saw someone in half? Well, she normally saw someone in half, but this particular night she swaps a saw for an axe. And then later that evening, her husband is found brutally dead, murdered, and she is arrested for it. It seems an open and shut case. But when she starts talking about what's happened, it appears to be much more intriguing than that. And I just love the sparkle that this cover is doing. This book is published over in the UK on the 3rd of April. I think it might already be out in the US. I think it was part of like Oprah's book club or something. I'm really excited to read this one. Now this one doesn't fit into books that were sent to me by publishers. In fact, this was very cheekily and sneakily sent to me by the lovely Janet from Swirly Girly Reads. She said that she saw it and she saw it on my list and she had to get it for me. So She's super nice. She really treats me. And this is A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. And I've wanted to read this for ages, and I'm so happy she got this for me. So this is the story of a boy. He feels like he's won the lottery with the elective that he's managed to get, which is to help the school psychologist. I think he thinks it's going to be a breezy ride. He can just sit there and text his mates, until she asks him to try and track down this other student who has been eluding her. And he tracks this boy down, and it turns out to be one of his foster brothers that he used to live with years previous. And things start to unravel about this boy and his life. And I think it's going to be brilliant and heartbreaking. Right, back to books from publishers. I was very kindly sent Our Own Private Universe by Robin Talley. So this is an exploration of a young girl called Aki. She is 15 years old and she knows that she's bisexual. However, she's only ever had relationships with boys, but she feels like she wants to, explore her sexuality. She's only going to get one life. And so she goes off with her best friend, who is the only other person that knows about this, on sort of a church group holiday to a little town, I think it is in Mexico, and she meets an older, more experienced woman and starts to explore this side of her, and I think it's going to be interesting. I haven't read actually any of Robin Talley's, but I think I might have some more on my shelf. This one came out at the end of January, so it's out now if it's something that you're interested in, but I look forward to reading it myself and seeing what I think. Next up, the wonderful Tor kindly sent me 3 books. The first is a Marie Brennan's Lightning in the Blood. I don't know an awful lot about this, but I do know that Marie Brennan wrote The Natural History of Dragons and that series, which I've had wonderful things about. What I love is the blurb on the back of here for the author is that she's an anthropologist and folklorist who shamelessly pillages her academic field for material. That sounds brilliant. I love things that have a very loose connection to real life or to academic study, so I'm really excited to try this one. The next 2 are both by Shauna Maguire. As you know, I am an avid pusher of Every Heart is a Doorway. I adored it, and so I was very kindly sent Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which is the next book in this series, and also Dusk or Dark or Dawn or Day, which is a short story which involves ghosts and paranormally type things, and I'm looking forward to reading both of these. I loved Shauna's writing style and I just can't wait to read more. Next, from Scholastic, I was very kindly sent a book called Showstopper by Hayley Barker. This one sounds really weird and a little bit scary maybe. It's about a time where the poorest people have to sell their children to this travelling circus, and one day this ruthless government minister's son goes to watch the opening of the show and falls in love with the tightrope walker, and then as he becomes more embroiled in the circus, he discovers, I think it's nasty side or something like that, so I'm really looking forward to this one. This comes out in June. I was very kindly by Quartet sent these 2 books by Sally Emerson, and the first is Firechild and the second is Heat. Now apparently these are sort of reboots of older classics that were written by Sally Emerson, so I think they've got a new cover and they're being revamped. They sound really interesting. It says Firechild's dark heroine is the young Tessa, who from the age of 12 uses the power of her smile to seduce men with damaging and dramatic consequences. The novel alternates her cool and shocking diaries with those of Martin Sherman, a dangerous young man who likes to play with fire. We know they will meet and all hell, possibly literally, will break loose. Both are hiding, leading deliberately dull lives in North London, afraid of what they have already done and what they are capable of. But when they meet, everything changes. Their union is devastating. It says, hypnotic, vivid and unputdownable, Sally Emerson's blazing love story throbs with lust and black humour. So I'm really excited to try these, and they're books that I have never heard of before. Next, I was very kindly sent Flames in the Mist, and this is by Renee Adier. She wrote The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger, which I really enjoyed. This one is out in May. It's about a girl. She's always known her fate is to be married to the youngest son of the Emperor's favourite concubine. line, and she's on her way to do just this when she is ambushed by the Black Clan and taken as a hostage, and it's about whether she waits to be rescued or rescues herself. So I'm sure this is going to be a fast-paced story, and if it's anything like The Rat and the Dawn, we'll have a really strong, strong-willed and strong female character. Next up, I was very kindly sent Spaceman of Bohemia by Yaroslav Kalfa, which I really enjoy the look of this book. So this one says, set in the near distant future, Spaceman of Bohemia follows a Czech astronaut as he launches into space to investigate a mysterious dust cloud covering Venus, a suicide mission sponsored by a proud nation. Suddenly, a world celebrity, Jakub's marriage struggles as the weeks go by and his sanity is called into question. After his mission is derailed, he must make a violent decision which forces him to come to terms with his family's dark political past. An extraordinary vision of the endless human capacity to persist and risk everything in the name of love and home by a startlingly talented young debut novelist. So this just sounds really intriguing, and it came out on the 9th. And then the last one, I was very kindly sent Good Me, Bad Me by Ali Lan. So this sounds like a psychological thriller. It's about a girl, she knows her mother is a serial killer, she turns her in, and we're then following that she is going to be a witness at her mother's trial. But in the blurb, this says at the end, but blood is thicker than water. So, what is going to happen here? I do not know, but I'm excited and a bit nervous. I'm really pleased with the books that I've got this month. Have you read any of these? Are any of these ones that sound exciting to you? Let me know and I'll try and get to them quicker. But thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.